All right, today we're diving into a blueprint for what society could look like after AI really takes hold. And this isn't about small tweaks. We're talking about a whole new way of thinking about how our economy works, one that's designed for pretty much everyone to prosper. So let's get right into it.
This is the big question, right? It's the anxiety at the heart of all of this. If machines can do what we do, but faster and cheaper, what's our role? The framework we're looking at today says, hey, instead of trying to fight the inevitable, what if we just built a whole new system?
So the proposed solution isn't just one single policy. It's a whole system, a really cohesive one, built on 4 interconnected pillars. You can think of it like an architectural plan for a new kind of economy, one that's founded on security, contribution, and public trust.
Every strong building needs a solid foundation, and this is no different. So, the very first pillar focuses squarely on the individual. The goal here is to set up a base that allows every single person to get past just surviving and actually have a real shot at growing.
This foundation has a name, the Dignity Floor, and it's basically an unconditional safety net. By making sure everyone has their basic needs met, housing, food, healthcare, it gets rid of that constant grinding stress of survival. This isn't just about fighting poverty, it's about freeing up people's minds to think beyond their next meal or rent check.
Now, building right on top of that dignity floor is something called the capability ladder. And this is where that safety net really turns into a launch pad. And this is key. It's a totally voluntary system. It's not a work requirement. It simply rewards people for doing things that make themselves and their communities stronger. And the more involved you get, the bigger the reward.
So what actually counts as a contribution? Well, this is where things get really interesting, because the system radically expands what we think of as valuable work. A part-time job is on the same level as documented hours caring for a relative, or, say, completing a training program. This is so important. Starting a new business, raising your kids, or creating a piece of public art, they're all seen as legitimate, valuable economic contributions.
Okay, a system this big sounds expensive. It requires a really powerful economic engine. So, this second pillar answers the million-dollar question, or maybe the trillion-dollar question, how do we pay for all this? Well, the answer lies in sharing the incredible wealth that AI is set to create.
The mechanism for this is called a National AI Dividend Fund. It works on a pretty simple idea. We should treat advanced AI like a modern public resource, something built on decades of public research and data that we all contributed to. So the fund would get small stakes in the big AI companies and then distribute the profits from that directly back to all of us.
Now, this isn't just some sci-fi theory. It's actually based on a real-world model that's been working for over 40 years. The Alaska Permanent Fund takes money from the state's oil revenues and gives a check to every single resident every year. The AI Dividend Fund just applies that exact same logic, treating artificial intelligence like the new black gold of the 21st century.
So how would that money get used? Well, it's designed to create this really positive feedback loop. The biggest chunk, 60%, goes straight to the people as direct dividends to fund that dignity floor. But the rest is reinvested right back into human potential. 20% for skills retraining, and another 20% as seed money for new startups. So AI's profits are literally used to fuel the next wave of human creativity. And that brings us to the third pillar, which tackles a fascinating question. Once people have financial security and they have more time on their hands, what do they actually do? The answer here is to build something called a leisure economy, a whole new ecosystem for people to create, connect, and innovate.
This quote really gets to the heart of it. It's about reframing free time as time wealth, a vital economic asset. This isn't about people being lazy. It's about giving people the bandwidth to learn new things, to create, to care for each other, and to come up with the next big idea.
And to make this time wealth a reality, the system would invest in shared public infrastructure. We're talking community makerspaces, professional-grade kitchens, media labs, you name it. By making these tools available to everyone, you just demolish the barriers to entry, which means anyone with an idea can have a real shot at bringing it to life.
Okay, so we've got security, we have a way to pay for it, and we have a space for people to create. But how do we make sure a system this powerful stays fair and doesn't get corrupted? That brings us to the fourth and final pillar, a completely new kind of oversight designed to build trust.
The answer is citizen jury oversight. Now, instead of relying on politicians or appointed insiders, key programs get audited by panels of regular, everyday citizens. These randomly selected jurors are given real legal power, making them the ultimate public watchdog.
The whole selection process is built to be as fair as possible. It starts with thousands of random invitations sent out.
Then, from the people who respond, a final panel is scientifically chosen so that it's a perfect demographic mirror of the country. And then, those jurors are paid, they get access to independent experts, and they're fully empowered to hold the whole system accountable.
This just completely changes who's motivated by what. Think about it. Appointed officials can be influenced by politics, by their next career move, but a randomly selected citizen juror, their only motivation is civic duty. And because they come from all walks of life, their diverse experiences act as a built-in defense against the kind of elite bias that can really plague traditional government oversight.
So there you have it, 4 distinct pillars that all lock together to create a really comprehensive vision for what a post-AI society could look like. It's not just one policy, it's a complete, interlocking system.
Let's just quickly trace how this whole thing works together. The AI Dividend Fund pays for everything by sharing the profits of automation. That money creates the dignity floor, which gives people the security to then climb the capability ladder. That, in turn, fuels this new leisure economy where new human value is created. And watching over the whole thing, you have citizen juries, making sure it stays trustworthy. It's a virtuous cycle.
It is a radical vision, there's no doubt about it. But it forces us to ask a really profound question. What if AI's greatest gift isn't just making our old jobs obsolete, but giving us the chance to build a totally new system, one that redefines prosperity itself, away from just having a job and towards widespread human flourishing? What do you think?